Footgolf has taken off in the UK over recent years. Head of UK Development, Gareth May, joined me earlier to discuss its rapid rise, its vast potential, and the crucial role played by its Cambridge courses. Hello Gareth, thank you for joining me today.
Good morning, Callum. Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're Footgolf's UK Head of Development, which is a broad role. What does it entail exactly?
So pretty much my responsibility is to try and help grow the sport across the whole of the UK. So bringing on new golf courses and giving people the opportunity to try and play it.
And with your background in sport, how does that connect to it as well?
But I've got a sports science degree, and I think really, I saw this sport on BBC News about 3 or 4 years ago, and it looked amazing, but I didn't have anywhere to play locally to me in Peterborough. So I contacted the president and said, look, how can I get involved? And initially came on board as a development officer for Cambridgeshire, got offered other counties, and then my role within the organisation grew. And then was offered the responsibility to try and develop the whole of the UK. So at the moment, we're really heavily focusing on Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales.
And when you got involved, it was a start-up essentially. Does that help you with your new role, knowing that you're learning at the same time?
I think so, yeah. The sport's developing at such a fast rate. When we initially formed the sport, it was so new to the UK that a lot of people didn't understand what it was, although in essence it is what it says on the tin. But no, I think now that the sport's got more profile, there's a lot more golf courses offering the sport. It's a lot easier to bring golf courses on board now. And like I say, the main thing is that there's so many people wanting to play it and they're travelling a long distance that we need to find more courses dotted around the UK just to make it easier for people to participate.
And what kind of strategies do you adopt with regards to getting people to play the sport? You mentioned obviously a lot of people just see it and want to play it, but how do you get the word out a bit more?
I think key at the moment, as with everything, is social media. It's a fantastic tool. It's very easy to reach a lot of people and let them know that the sport is taking place. From media launches that we do with golf courses, it's very easy to advertise through social media, and we assist the golf courses that come on board and are certified through us into promoting that way, because in essence it's a free tool as well.
And obviously you've got the UK, it's the UK's fastest growing sport at the moment, so you've got that tool to use as well, which can only help. 60,000 members?
Yeah, just over 60,000 registered member players that go through UKfootgolf.com, register their interest and then receive newsletters and information on new courses opening and things like that. And at the moment there's just over 30,000 people playing every week, which is fantastic. The participation statistics are brilliant. And
how does it work in the winter months? Because in the summer the weather's good, more people are likely to want to play.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you go about getting people involved still?
It's difficult. Obviously, same as golf really. It's a very weather dependent sport. However, having said that, footballers are very hardy. They're used to playing out in the wind and the rain and the wet. So that's not too much of a surprise. But obviously it is a challenge, and it all depends on the golf courses. Some drain a lot easier and can cope with winter play. Some of the other golf courses have to shut down during the winter, which means they don't get the income from foot golf or golf.
And you mentioned the conditions, and perhaps you can use that to your advantage too, because as you say, footballers like to play in a variety of conditions. If it's wet, then it just makes it a bit more challenging.
Certainly, yeah, and windy as well. I think a lot of people, when they first play foot golf, they think, well, this is going to be easy. The actual thing is, it's completely different to playing football. Usually when you're kicking a ball to pass it to somebody, you're aiming it to land at their feet, whereas in foot golf, you don't allow for all the run and spin off. So it's a very different approach you have to take when you start playing it more regularly.
And you've got 200 courses now throughout UK centres.
Yeah. So
it's obviously getting about and lots of people getting involved. How much emphasis do you play on the social side of playing foot golf, I think, outside of just playing it?
Yeah, I think the social side is the biggest aspect of foot golf at the moment. We're trying to develop an elite series, and we've just launched a national tour this year. But socially, I think that's the main reason that golf courses are taken on from an income perspective at the moment, is because football presentation dues and football training sessions, the stag and hen do market as well as birthday parties and things like that. That's the main thing that golf courses are seeing at the moment from an income generating point of view. And as the spin-off from that, obviously more and more people are playing more regularly, and then we'll get to people that are trying to take it a little bit more seriously, and that we divert those towards the national tour.
Are you surprised that foot golf didn't get invented a bit earlier, really, because it seems such a simple kind of...
I think it is, and I think a lot of people were saying that they've played a form of this sort of sport for decades, but the rules and the format as it is at the moment, it's only been around for about 10 or 12 years, and I guess the foundations go towards Holland or Spain. It's unclear at the moment, but yeah, it's been in the UK for 4 years, and we're trying to continue the growth that we've got at the moment, and we want to make this a sport that's going to stay.
It did increase in popularity just as golf decreased and lost a lot of its membership.
Yeah.
How did you play that off it? Did you communicate with golf clubs to try and keep them afloat as well and going strong? Or?
I think that was the key, really. I think the golf has been struggling as a sport for a number of years. And a lot of golf courses unfortunately are closing down because the memberships are decreasing, and the cost of maintaining a golf course is phenomenal. So introducing Footgolf, although it was difficult in the early stages because you've got to dig slightly bigger holes, and a lot of golf members were perhaps sceptical of people bringing a football onto a golf course and kicking a ball on a golf course. But when you explain what the format of the sport is, and that the fact that foot golfers have to adhere to a golfing etiquette, as well as the revenue generation from that point of view, it's a no-brainer for golf courses if they need the income. It's never going to get onto every single golf course in the UK. The likes of Wentworth and the Belfry, they don't necessarily need foot golf, and that's fine. But there are an awful lot of golf courses that need some revenue and want to get more people through the door. And I think golf courses need to look at themselves as more of a leisure complex or a leisure facility than just a golf club.
You spoke about making it more elite, maybe a certain point, but you get a good mix. You get ladies playing and seniors. So is that another part of it that you put a bit of emphasis on, the fact that it's a sport for anyone and everyone?
Oh, 100%. I mean, this year we launched the junior tour, the ladies tour and the seniors tour. We've got people playing from the age of 3-4 years old right through to 84 years old. So it's a fantastic cross section of the community that can play. It's brilliant because mums and dads can go out with the kids. They don't have to sit in the clubhouse while dad and son go out on the golf course. Mum can join in as well. And same with grandparents. Anyone can kick a football. All you have to do is walk around a golf course. It's very easy to play if you want to play it.
And you've got 2 courses in the Cambridge area, including your Milton one, which hosted the Footgolf Open last August. How much of a success was that weekend?
It's fantastic. I think we had 160 odd participants that took part in the 2-day event. It was brilliant. Luckily, the weather was great. Unfortunately, UK-based players, I think we finished 2nd and 4th. Switzerland's Lionel Jacquot won the event. We've got the UK Open in Cambridge again this year. It's going to be a bigger event. It's stage 11 of this year's European Tour. And we've got people like Paolo Di Canio entered to take part. So it's going to be an even bigger event this year.
And having names like that, again, can only help boost the sport and make your job a bit easier too, really.
I think so. It just helps increase the profile. Paolo Di Canio is a fantastic name from football. He was a brilliant footballer and a good manager. We're starting to get a lot more ex-professional footballers take up the sport. We've got Clinton Moore, who used to play for Crawley Town, who's one of Europe's best players. And we're starting to get more and more people like that come through. And hopefully that will just benefit the sport on the long term.
There are several Cambridge-based players actually high up in the rankings now.
Yeah.
Again, how does that help this city and get more people involved?
I think it gives recognition to the county. Obviously, having the site in Milton and having it as one of our national hubs was obviously a massive benefit for the area. We've now developed a county team, whereas last year we didn't have a county team. So we've got about 20 players within the county now that are taking it quite seriously. A lot of those are Cambridge City players based. Jamie Cullum is the highest ranked player in the UK at the moment. And anyone can come and play. I mean, Jamie's only been playing for 3 or 4 months at the moment, and he's doing very, very well. So anybody that thinks they can play Footgolf, come and have a go and see what you think.
And ultimately, how big do you think the sport can become?
It's difficult to say. A lot of people said, is it going to be an Olympic sport? And it'd be fantastic if it can be, but I think that's a good 50, 60 years off. I think at the moment, there's about 36 nations playing the sport and it's growing every month. I think we need to get more and more people on board playing it. We need to get it a bigger profile within the UK and merging that with the US. I mean, next year in January, we've got the first Footgolf version of the Ryder Cup. And hopefully that will give us a greater profile and a bigger platform to move on for the years to come.
Okay, Gareth, well, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thanks, Callum.
And good luck going forward.
Thank you very much.